Okay, so today we are dealing with the remaining topic of comparative public law and system of governance. So today's class we will be dealing the separation of powers, independence of judiciary, judicial activism, and judicial accountability in India, UK, and USA. Okay, so first of all, we can delve with the landmark and very important topic in law, that is separation of powers. The separation of powers, the concept is propounded by Montesquieu in Spirit of Laws in the year 1748. And actually, he advocated that the concentration of power is actually tyranny. The power must be divided into three organs according to him, that is legislature, executive, and judiciary. See, uh, according to him, what's the purpose of dividing the power into three organs? He pointed out that it will avoid the concentration of power, it will prevent arbitrariness, and also it will promote the liberty, like it ensure the check and balance, it promote individual liberty, it will enhance the stability of governance. So that is said by him. And coming to some models of different countries, coming to USA, United States of America, there is strict separation regarding this concept. And coming to UK, it's actually a fusion or weak separation of powers. And coming to India, it's actually a moderate. There is moderate separation of powers as far as India is concerned. Then France, it is semi-presidential balance. It's actually like that. So first we can discuss the separation of powers in USA. See, as I already mentioned, as far as separation of power in USA is concerned, it is strict separation. That is presidential system that we have already discussed in the previous class. See, as per the presidential system, the president is not a member of Congress. Cabinet members cannot be a part of legislature, that is a Congress, cannot remove the president except in the case of impeachment. And also there are some check and balance regarding this, like the president can veto Congress laws and the Congress can override the veto, that is the 2/3 majority, and the Senate approves the judges and treaties, and the judiciary can strike down any acts. That's called its judicial review. So that's all about the separation of powers in USA. And there's a landmark case on this regard, that is Marbury versus Madison in the year 1803, which held the which held and established the judicial review. And also in this case, it was held this what is held that, or what the concept we get is that Supreme Court is the guardian of Constitution. Supreme Court is considered as the guardian of Constitution. And according, as per the USA, the judiciary, the nature of judiciary is like the judges is appointed by the president and which is confirmed by the Senate. And also there is life tenure, which ensures an independence, which ensures a stability, and there are no transfers also. And also the judiciary is extremely powerful in the case of USA. So that's all about the separation of powers in USA. Then coming to UK, what is separation of powers in UK? As I already mentioned, the UK separation of powers in UK is actually fusion of powers. They are the parliamentary system. What is existing is the parliamentary system. Parliament is considered supreme, and here the executive will be the part of legislature. Executive is drawn from legislature. So there will be PM and the cabinet from the parliament. And also the another features or another peculiarities is that there is no single written constitution. Parliament is considered sovereign. Parliament can override the court decision. That are some of the sorry, that's some of the peculiarities of this concept in UK. And coming to the explanation of this fusion system, the PM controls the House of Commons majority. And here the judiciary historically is under Lord Chancellor. The Constitutional Reform Act in the year 2005, this changed this. So coming to the key reforms, what was happened in UK is there is the establishment of Constitutional Reforms Act in 2005, and it established the UK Supreme Court, that is in 2009, which created Judicial Appointment Commission and which removed the judiciary related powers of the Lord Chancellor. That's all about the separation of powers in UK. Then coming to the judicial review, that feature, here the court can review only the executive actions. but cannot review the acts of Parliament. Since Parliament is considered supreme, Parliament can override the court decisions. So the sovereignty principle applies here. That's all about the separation of powers in UK. Then we come to separation of powers in India. That's I think that's a very clear topic for all of you. This separation of powers in India, it's actually a separation, but no rigidity is there. India follows functional and institutional separation, not strict separation. The constitution provisions indicate the functional overlap here, and the constitution is drafted within such a way to maintain the check and balance, and also it is inspired partly by the USA separation of powers and the UK separation of powers. It is what we adopted in the separation of powers regarding India is from USA and UK. We have already discussed all these in the previous class. I have gone detailed that. So coming to the overlapping powers, there are some functional overlap I have already mentioned. This overlap is like ministers are the part of parliament, and also president is also the part of parliament as per Article 79 of Indian Constitution, and the legislature will amend the laws. Judiciary interpret them. That's a basic feature. And the judiciary review the actions of the legislature or the executive. That's the main feature regarding the separation of power in India. This judicial review is clearly or explicitly represented or provided under Article 13, Article 32, and Article 131 to 136 of the Indian Constitution. And we have already we have a basic doctrine regarding this, that is basic structure doctrine, in which the legislature cannot destroy the basic structure of the constitution. The separation of powers is a part of basic structure. It is so held in the landmark case, that is Keshwanta Bharati in the year 1973. So that's all about the separation of powers in India. Now, then coming to separation of powers in France. Regarding France, it's actually a semi-presidential system. Here, here compared to France, it's a weaker separation. Compared to USA, it is weaker separation in France. The dual executive, that is president plus prime minister, and legislature is independent from the executive, and also judiciary play a limited role here traditionally. Coming to the judicial review, it's actually performed by the Constitutional Council. The Constitutional Council will review the legislation, and the Constitutional Council can review the legislation, the treaties, and also the constitutional amendments. The basic reforms regarding this is the 2008 constitutional reform, which expanded the review process, and also the other thing is the citizens can challenge the laws through the question preciatory de consulat. By this way, the constitution can amend. Through this constitution, citizens can challenge these laws. So that's all about the separation of powers in this system. So when we discuss the separation of powers in USA, we can understand that there is strict separation regarding this. The legislature, that is the Congress, cannot remove president except impeachment. The president is not part of the Congress. Here is judicial independent, and there is strong check and balance. Like we have already discussed the veto power, the judicial review which was held in the case Marbury versus Madison, and the Senate confirmation of appointment. That's all about the separation of powers in USA. Then coming to the separation of powers in UK, what we have like we have discussed, there is fusion of powers. Here the parliament is considered supreme, and executive is drawn from the legislature. Here the judiciary is historically subordinate. Until the Constitutional Reform Act 2005, it is vested with the Lord Chancellor. After it, there is the formation of commission, and also there is a formation of Supreme Court, all this. And coming to UK, there is no single written constitution. Here the parliament can override the court decisions. There is the principles of parliament sovereignty here. Then coming to India, which is a moderate the country which functioning the separation of powers in a moderate manner. Here there is, of course, there is separation. We have a legislature, executive, and judiciary, but the separation It's actually not rigid. The constitution will provide a functional overlap, but we have already discussed. The PM and ministers are considered a part of parliament. Also, the president is part of parliament as per Article 79. And here also the judiciary reviews the actions of both the organs. And also here, what is this? There is basic structure doctrine. Here the legislature can amend laws but cannot abrogate the basic structure, cannot change the basic structure of the constitution, or cannot change the basic objective of purpose of the constitution. That was already held in the K.U. and the Barbie case. Then we have discussed the separation of powers in France. Here it is semi-presidential system. The weaker separation that USA, and also the president and PM, they will share the executive power. And here the Constitutional Council which will review this legislation, and there is strong judicial review after the 2008 reforms. Then coming to a quick comparison regarding the separation of powers. Sorry. As far as USA is concerned, there is strict separation. The judicial review is also strong here. And coming to UK, it is fusion, and what we have already discussed, parliament sovereignty principle applies here. Then India, it's middle or moderate, and basic structure doctrine is here. And coming to France, it is actually semi-presidential, what we have already discussed, and it is the Constitutional Council will review the legislature. So that's all about the separation of powers. Then coming to independence of judiciary. See, the independence of judiciary, what the concept means that the judiciary must be free from the influence of legislature and executive. Here, the judicial independence can have a two aspect, that is institutional independence and decisional independence. See, sorry, what is institutional independence is that the courts free from the legislature or executive interference. That is called institutional independence. Coming to decisional independence, the judges is free to decide without any pressure. That is called decisional independence. So we have independence of judiciary. There is two concepts, that is institutional independence and decisional independence. And coming to this, the judges is free to decide without pressure. Like here are some indicators for that, like indicators of an independent judiciary: appointment procedure, like security of tenure, removal safeguards, judicial immunity, financial autonomy, and also no discussion of judges conduct in parliament as per Article 121 of Indian Constitution. Then the transfer regards. All these are included in this. And coming to what we can this is all about the concept of independent judiciary. Now we can discuss what is the independent of judiciary, or how it is practically practically implemented in each country. First we can discuss the USA. USA here, coming to the appointment, it is the appointment of judges. It is president will nominate and Senate confirm it. It is highly political but transparent too. And here coming to the tenure, it is actually a life tenure. It's actually a good behavior. It cannot be removed except in the process of impeachment. And coming to the powers, the strongest judicial review authority in the world, that is on USA, and also complete control over the constitutional interpretation. And coming on to the structure which promote the independence is that there is no transfer, no fixed retirement age, and also the salary cannot be reduced. These are all about the features or peculiarities coming to the independence of judiciary in USA. Then what we can discuss in the independence of judiciary in UK is that it's all reforms, all these independence of judiciary will come in UK after the Constitutional Reform Act 2005. Before that, the Lord Chancellor, judiciary is under the control of Lord Chancellor. It's actually an executive role. So after this reformation in 2005, the UK Supreme Court is created, and Judicial Appointment Commission, it's an independent body that was created too. And the Lord Chancellor's judicial functions were removed, and also these judges were protected through the security of tenure. That's another peculiar feature. Then coming to the review, judicial review, here the review of executive actions only, because it cannot strengthen the parliamentary law. What we have discussed, there is parliament sovereignty. So Parliament cannot override the judicial rulings. That's all about the independence of judiciary. Then coming to independence of judiciary in India we have High Court and Supreme Court independence. Like the appointment of judges is through collegium system. The Supreme Court and High Court judges will appoint it. The NGSC that system was already struck down and held unconstitutional in the 2015, which is known to everyone. I hope this concept is very clear for everyone because everyone knows this concept. And uh, coming to the security of tenure, the judges is removed only by engagement, and also it's very high threshold majority, like special majority plus majority of total membership. That's the feature regarding the majority. And also coming to the financial independence, the salary, the allowances, like charged on which is all charged on the consolidated fund of India, and that cannot be reduced. That's a basic feature. Then coming to the judicial review power, you have strong constitutional review, and the basic structure doctrine protects the judiciary's role. That's a basic feature coming to the India. So that's all about the independence of judiciary in India. So we have discussed the independence of judiciary in USA, which we can understand that there is the president nominees, the Senate will confirm, and it's highly political but transparent too. It's process transparent too. And here there is a life tenure. Tenure is life tenure, so it's a good behavior and cannot be removed except impeachment. And some of the features are there is no transfer system, no fixed retirement age, the salary cannot be reduced, and the Supreme Court is extremely powerful in the case of USA. Then coming to UK, all these reforms come after the Constitutional Reform Act of 2005. The Judicial Appointment Commission is established, Supreme Court is established, and there is a separation of Lord Chancellor, Lord, and judiciary is independent, but there is principle of parliament sovereignty, and also no judicial review of parliamentary sovereignty. That's another feature. Sorry. Then coming to India, what we have said is we have High Court and Supreme Court independence here, and here the judges are appointment through collegium system, and the removal is possible only through impeachment, and there are transfer is through this collegium system also, and there is power of judicial review, but is limited regarding the basis by protecting the basic structure doctrine. So that's all about the independence of judiciary as far as India is concerned. Okay, then coming to judicial activism. See, the concept. What is judicial activism? We can answer in this way, like the judicial creativity in interpreting the constitution, expanding the rights, or filling up the governance gap. That's actually called judicial activism. Here the judiciary plays a proactive role to protect the rights. Actually, like it is introduced, the judicial activism is introduced in India through the PIL movement, the public interest litigation movement. And see, when we look on to the reasons for the growth of judicial activism in India, we can point out that it's basically based on the weak implementation by executive, like the social inequality, the public interest litigation bill, and the expansive interpretation of Article 21 by so many landmark cases. And here coming to the landmark cases, which held the or coming to the landmark activism cases. First one is Husainara Cartoon, the right to speedy trial, which held the right to speedy trial, and Vishaka case, which Vishaka versus state of Rajasthan, which mentioned or which gave the sexual harassment guidelines at workplace or norms at workplace. That's a case. And coming to MC Mehta case, it's basically held on the protection of environment, and the Shreya Singhal case, which struck down the Section 66A of the IT Act. These all are examples for which mention the how much judicial activism is possible or implemented or going on regarding our our country, the India is concerned. So, coming on to the types of activism, we have like there is judicial review activism, and there is judicial creativity activism, that is filling the gaps, and pill activism is there, public interest litigation, and also some structural injunctions like continuing mandamus. These all will include or come under the head of judicial activism. So that's all about the judicial activism in India. Then coming to judicial accountability. Here, what is that? The concept means that the judiciary must be answerable for its function. Or in other words, we can say that judges must be responsible for their conduct and decisions. That is a basic concept regarding the judicial accountability. Here, the mechanism in India is impeachment. That's a rare, but it's a concept which is practically done in India. And in-house procedure is there, contempt of court is there, judicial standards and accountability bill. Even it is not enacted, it is here. And judicial like contempt of court, which I already mentioned, and RTA Transparency Act. This all will come under like a judiciary is accountable to judiciary is responsible for their conduct and decisions. These all peculiar features or act or concept means the accountability or reflects the accountability of judiciary. And like thinking why accountability is needed, we can say that it will prevent the misuse of power. That's the first thing. And also it will maintain public confidence. It actually maintains the public confidence. And also it will promote the transparency. Here the transparency is promoted or provided. Then we can say that, see, the balance with the independence is that the judiciary must be independent but not unregulated. Of course, the judiciary is independent. There is independence of judiciary that we have already discussed, but judiciary is accountable. It is not unregulated. That's all about judicial accountability. Then that we have already, that is all about today's class. Like we have discussed what is the concept of separation of powers. We have discussed the separation of power in USA, which is strict separation, UK, which is fusion of powers, India, which is based on the three organs, there is separation but no rigidity. Then France, which held the semi-presidential system. That is, we can, like on a lab, we can look, in a nutshell, we can say that what is separation of powers in USA, UK, India, and France. You can move on to this slide. Then coming to the independence of judiciary, we have discussed the independence of judiciary, what is a concept, and we have discussed what it is practically implemented in USA, UK, and India, and we have discussed the judicial activism, and then we have discussed judicial accountability. So to summarize, we can say that regarding the separation of powers, the India is considered as a moderate. Regarding the function or implementation, it is moderate. Coming to USA, it's strict separation. UK, there is fusion of powers, and France, it is semi-presidential. Then coming to the judiciary power in India, which is very strong. USA judiciary power is the strongest, and UK is a weak against parliament. There is parliamentary sovereignty here, so it's weak against parliament. And France, it's actually a moderate. The judicial power is moderate. Then coming to the review, judicial review. India, we have judicial review, which is based on the basic structure doctrine. And USA, there is judicial review. But coming to UK, no review of parliament. That's a basic. We have already discussed the parliament sovereignty. And France, the legislature is reviewed. These activities are done by the Constitutional Council. That's all about France. Then coming to the appointment of judges, uh, coming to India, it's collegium. Coming to USA, it's president plus senate. President appoints, senate will confirm. Then UK, it's all about the judiciary commission. We discussed the judicial appointment commission as far as UK is concerned. Then, according to France, it's civil service route. That I have just mentioned. Then coming to the tenure of judges, India we have fixed age. USA it's actually for lifetime, and UK and France it's fixed. So that's all about the overall idea what we have discussed in today's class. Then moving on to the some of the MCQs. I will check whether you have any chat regarding this. Sorry, let me check. Okay. Okay, first question is strict separation of power is a feature of. We have already discussed, and I hope you have a thorough idea about what this is. Strict separation of powers is a peculiar feature of, no doubt, USA. The Constitution Reform Act 2005. It is related to UK, no? Because it actually overheld the Lord Chancellor's role, the executive role of Lord Chancellor. It is then vested to the Constitution Reform Act 2005. So that's all about this question. Then, which body exercises judicial review in France? We have already discussed it. As per France, it is actual judicial review exercised by the Constitutional Council, which will review the legislature. Then coming to the basic structure doctrine. Basic structure doctrine limits which system? We know it, India, because we have the beautiful basic structure doctrine which will govern the overall administration of our country. Then last question is collegium system. Collegium system is related to the appointment of judges. So that's all about what I have discussed today's session. I have given a crisp and clear idea about what is separation of powers, what is independence of judiciary, what is judicial activism, what is judicial accountability, and I have given some of the comparison table and comparison slides also. See, what you have to remember is that you have to understand the concept what see like ഈ പറയുന്ന പോലെ എന്താ പറയാ ലൈക്ക് ഈ ഏത് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് ആയിക്കോട്ടെ നമ്മളത് മനസ്സിലാക്കി എടുക്കുക എന്നുള്ളത് മെയിൻ കാര്യമാണ്. അത് മനസ്സിലാക്കി എടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമുക്ക് പിന്നെ ചെയ്യാനുള്ളത് ഇപ്പോൾ ഇന്ത്യയിലെ USA-ലൊക്കെ വെച്ച് കമ്പാരിസൺ ചോദിക്കാം. പല കാര്യങ്ങളും പല രീതിയിലായിരിക്കും ചോദിക്കുന്നത്. സോ നമുക്കത് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യാന്നുള്ളതാണ് മെയിൻ കാര്യം. ഇപ്പോൾ UK-ൽ എങ്ങനെയാണ്, US-ൽ എങ്ങനെയാണ്, ഇന്ത്യയിൽ എങ്ങനെയാണെന്നുള്ള കമ്പാരിസൺ ആണ് നമുക്ക് മെയിൻ ആയിട്ട് ഇതിൽ വേണ്ടി വരിക. So that's all about today's session. I hope you have a clear idea about what I have taken. And ഒരു ക്ലാസ് കൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് ഇനി ഒറ്റൊരു ക്ലാസ് കൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് ഈ ഒരു കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് നമ്മുടെ ഈ ഒരു ടോപ്പിക് കമ്പാരിറ്റീവ് പബ്ലിക് ലോ നമുക്ക് ഫിനിഷ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ഇനി ഒരു ക്ലാസ്സും കൂടി ഉള്ളൂ. അതിൽ ഓംബുഡ്സ്മാൻ, അമെൻമെന്റ്, അതൊക്കെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഈ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുക. സോ താങ്ക് യു ഫോർ ജോയിൻ ദിസ് സെഷൻ. ഐ ഹോപ്പ് എവറിത്തിങ് ഈസ് ക്ലിയർ ഫോർ യു. ദാറ്റ്സ് ഓൾ അബൌട്ട് ദ ടുഡേയ്സ് ക്ലാസ്. നമുക്ക് വേറൊരു ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ കമ്പാരിറ്റീവ് പബ്ലിക് ലോയുടെ നമുക്ക് കണ്ടിന്യൂഷൻ എടുക്കാം.